Okay, I thought that this was gonna be like an amazing little startup so that you could see my little startup screen and know that it was modded. I had Rebecca on the main menu. But this was my Cyberpunk run modded with V2's heavy pack, so it was 1,000 plus mods on Cyberpunk, and this was like way back right after I was gonna call it Liberty City, Phantom Liberty. I ended up buying Cyberpunk on Steam because I originally had it on GOG. I bought it on Steam and I bought it with Phantom Liberty. I got like the whole whatever, right? And after that, I had downloaded 1,000 plus mods from V2's heavy version because there was a light version and there was a heavy version, and I was gonna use that to play Cyberpunk. And I was actually extremely hyped to do so because I hadn't played Cyberpunk in so long. So I wanted to see the change in Phantom Liberty, but I also wanted to see what all the mods actually had in store for me because I had never actually played the game in its entirety because my character decided to kill themselves on my first run, and I just could not get past that for my other characters. I ended up making several other characters along the way, never really stuck to one to actually finish the game and see it through because I had done so many side quests on my first one, and to think that I had to go back and do it all over again kind of just discouraged me from playing the game again. But then again, like that is my fault, and I don't necessarily have to do all the side quests. Well, then again, I don't know. When I told my friend about it, he was telling me, oh, you're supposed to actually help out a bunch of other people that relate to the story, whereas like I didn't. I kind of just sped ran it, and I didn't even entirely know that I was like speed running it. I was ignorant to that. Like I had no idea. So when he told me, I was like, you got to be
Loud
kidding
and
me.
clear.
Like I need to run back
Whoever
and do
you
more
are.
main parts of the story to understand what's actually going on.
난
Um,
송송이야.
so
송곳처럼
when
굴러.
Phantom Liberty dropped, I was like,
네가
I'll
누군지,
give it a try
어떤
and see what
사정이
all they
있는지 다
changed.
알아.
This DLC
네
gives you
목숨을
a
구해줄게.
whole new starting point in the game. So you don't even have to play like through the
Oh,
jump like
very
beginning
funny.
that you play
Is this
with
a
all
prank?
the other
Not in the
like
mood, if
normal
so.
base game stories, which I thought
장난하는 거
was
아니야.
absolutely crazy.
지금은 궁금한 게
I was
많을 거야.
testing the recording
금방 다
for the
대답해줄게.
game as well through the other
그
software that I
전에
was using,
나이트 시티의
and
똥통이라고 불리는
I was
도그타운으로
testing to
가죠.
see how the mods will work. You're probably going to see a ton of skips in this video. It's supposed to be about 7 hours
Dogtown.
long, I believe.
City within
but
that city.
I've actually cut
Know
a
of clans who
lot
tried to
of stuff
establish
up.
footholds on the
So,
black market there.
7 hours. Hold
Never
on, let me
managed
see
to
the
stake any
overall.
claims. Hell,
Maybe
some
not
claim
7,
never
maybe
made
like
it back.
3,
넌 달라.
maybe. I'm
이번엔
unsure.
다를 거야.
But I actually cut a lot of stuff up, and what ended up happening was,
Fine. No clue what I'm stepping into, but
as fate would
no
have
risk,
it,
no reward.
Cyberpunk goes under an update, which I was not aware of, and I got a new SSD, so I was moving Cyberpunk to my SSD because I was actually streaming this game on Discord to a handful of friends, and
This is
I
one
was
elaborate haze.
one of my friends told
Or a
me,
fucking
hey,
lifeline.
you don't have your game running on an SSD, for it to take so long to load, and I was like, you know what? Wait, hold on. I had to take a double take. I had to make sure you see them cheeks. But I was like, you know what? Let me put the game on an SSD. So I ended up doing that, and Vortex usually, because I use Vortex to mod my games usually, Vortex usually has this thing where you can move all your mods with like a feature that they have, so you don't have to try to move an entire folder and risk breaking and losing all your mods. Well, I tried to use that feature, something went wrong along the way, and I ended up breaking and losing all my mods. It's okay, whatever, I don't care. Now, I come back and I was like, I'll just reinstall them. My internet isn't like super bad. So I was like, yeah, I can definitely do that. I can hop back on, I can reinstall the mods and just run it all over again. Psych! It's not gonna let me do that. Why? Because Cyberpunk updated. It updated and removed pretty much every like huge mod collection pack that there was. There are new ones that are out now for it, but a lot of the ones that I've been seeing upgrade your graphics, I guess, so that you can play the game in like 4K, 8K, 32K, whatever K is new right now. I have no idea, but it's a lot of graphic update mods, and like I've been told by some friends that you shouldn't go pushing for something as high. That you can see there's one of the mods. Speaking of high, where am I going? Idiot. So, like I was saying, you shouldn't play them on X amount of high graphics because it can blow out your CPU or blow out your GPU or whatever the case may be. And because of that, I decided not to go through with them. Instead, I decided to download my own mods. So instead of doing collections, I was hand-picking mods that I thought would be pretty cool and that I personally liked. You will not see it at all in this recording because I just added it the other day and haven't officially been on to record anything, right? So this is pretty much the gameplay. I had to check the titties. I had to see the first person. I just wanted to see if it was really there. So this is this is what it was with the 1000 mod pack. The game wasn't buffering. It's just the recording was. Here's where things get messy. So there are so many skips and cuts. A, because there are certain things I want to take out, but also B, because as you can see, the UI is a mess. So I kept trying to fix the UI and change up the UI. During the mod pack, I think there are 3 or 4 mods that alter the UI. One of them lets you physically place where things on screen can be, which I did not know because I didn't know where to go to check it. I didn't know how to read it. I had no idea what was going on. So I was trying to figure that out. Another one lets you change the color scheme of it, which I was used to that one, so that one was fine. Then there's another that lets you choose which UI will even be on your screen and I guess where to relocate it. So technically I have 2 UI relocation mods. One of them actually changes where UI is supposed to go. As you can see, my mini map is right on top of my character, which can be pretty cool depending on how you play. But at the time, I just was not feeling it. And a lot of this stuff wasn't necessarily disorienting, but it was very annoying. And I remember having UI issues way back when as well. And it took me some time back then to figure it out too. But once I figured it out, it was fine. And I guess I could make a video on how to do it, but I won't. Just read online the mod pages or read what people are saying about it. If you want my little like 2 cents, one of them I believe has a hotkey that's bound to your Cyberpunk. Apparently my Cyberpunk, when I had all these mods, would reset my modded hotkeys. So I'd have to go into my actual base game folder, delete the JSON file that my modded hotkeys sat on, and then reload the game so I could reuse my mods. And that was very annoying. I'm sure there was a way to get past that, but I didn't know for sure how to do it. So the idea was when you got on Cyberpunk, make sure you played long in one sitting. Because if you didn't, there's a chance you might not be able to open your mod menus anymore for the rest of your gameplay unless you close it, delete that file, and then reopen. I'm sure there was a way to get past it. I'm sure they talked about it in a mod page or in mod posts or in a Reddit, whatever, but I didn't go through all that, right? So I was just taking all this stuff on face value. And you're probably wondering, why am I just sitting here? A, I was reading the conversation, listening to the conversation between the officers. But B, I didn't know what was going on in the game. So I was sitting behind this van thinking the line was going to move, like how you kind of have to sit in the line of cars in the base game as well. And that was not the case. You are not supposed to wait in line. If you do, will something change? I have no idea. But as far as understanding the game goes, that's not what you're supposed to do. And because my objectives, journal, and mini-map were all over the place, I didn't exactly know how to get from point A to point B either. Don't get me wrong, I did like the idea of having certain things off of my UI to get the game a kind of more, not necessarily realistic view, but being able to like not have all this stuff on screen just in your face so you could play the game and you could pick and choose when you want it to show. I thought that was actually really cool, but at the same time, I think just picking a mod that lets you resize them rather than cut them out entirely might be a little better. And if not, then, you know, having a mod that like pulls them off the screen from time to time might be a little better as well. Because I can't remember if the minimap used to be in the corner of your screen 24/7, but I actually like the game like this when it's not. My only issue is when I need to get somewhere, I don't have the mini-map unless I get on a vehicle, which you can change in the settings, I'm sure. I just, like I said, I wasn't necessarily going through it all to find out. You're probably wondering, what am I doing here? I'm scanning people to find the lady that comes with the DLC, because I remember them saying or hearing that you're supposed to find her or she'd find you or whatever the case may be. So I'm over here scanning everybody looking for her, and then boom, she hacks me and like we run into each other and we talk. Some other stuff that came from mod pack that I thought were actually really cool. You can change the way that people talk. So I don't know how it is in base game. I guess I'm gonna figure it out when I do my next run because I don't have the mods to change it. So you can actually have it set. So I like how people are just watching as I have a seizure. You can actually have it set so that they speak in their native tongue. So I picked the mods where everybody speaks in their native tongue. And one of my friends told me that people actually hate that about Cyberpunk, and they use mods to change that. They want everybody to be translated in their English voice acting whenever it comes to speaking to your character, because they said, you know, this is Cyberpunk, you should be allowed to auto-translate to people, kind of like you're a universal speaker, which I could see the takeaway from that, but at the same time, I also like the diversity in the game, right? I like being able to hear different languages in the future and see what people are talking about and see it be like decoded in front of you above their heads or on the bottom of the screen. I guess if you're playing in a little more action-paced way and you don't want to read, then yeah, I can see that too. But I think speaking in like their native languages is just like sexy, you know? What I mean, I think it's just so cool to like hear the Hispanics speak Spanish, to hear the Asians speak whichever brand, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, whatever the case may be. You know, I love hearing like the Jamaicans speak Jamaican rather than English. You know, I feel like it's a lot more appropriate, and I just like it. You know, but that's just anybody's personal preference, and I specifically picked that everybody, even in a Phantom Liberty DLC, would speak their native tongue. So that was something that I really liked. There's a more immersive first-person mod that the pack added, which is why I was like looking down at my titties and legs to see if I could actually see myself and how well I could see them. I think I had the body mod that made it so that my breasts and butt were larger. Now me specifically, I don't know how large these breasts and butt were by default. So to me, the mod didn't really look like it changed a whole bunch.
You're not joking.
But maybe it did. I don't know. You know, I didn't have like a whole bunch as far as like outfits go to officially tell. The mod added a ton of clothes, a ton of texture changes, and some new weapons and things to change about systems and functions of gear and weapons. And I obviously didn't get to see all of that in its glory because
can't override.
The update happened when I took a break from the game and I came back, and the game was like completely changed and just different. Well, different in the sense of I couldn't use any of the mods that I originally had. So the new mods that I did add when I came back, making my own little mod pack, were just some of the ones that came from the mod pack that I openly noticed and saw, and then some extra ones. So stuff like wall clinking, wall hanging, wall jumping, the little Spider-Man web slinging grapple hook, the jetpack.
Said you could help me. That the plain truth?
I think I got something for dodging and dodges overall as well. I got a lot for clothes. It wasn't like my intention to fill my library with clothes. There was only one or two outfits that I thought looked nice. I wasn't really reading as much on the mod pages, but I should have been. The requirements to get some mods to work where you can pick whatever clothes you wanted. They wanted you to download this or that, like clothing pack. And maybe you didn't need them, you know? Maybe they were just like, download this so you can use these clothes. But I didn't want to use those clothes. I wanted to use some other clothes. But instead, I ended up downloading what they said to download. And to download those, you have to download another clothing pack. And to download that, you have to download another clothing pack. And to download that, you have to download a conversion pack for some other clothes. And to download that, you need to download another conversion pack. So I have like 60 mods, and they're purely just clothing cosmetics. And I don't know if they're actually required, because like I said, I wasn't reading or paying much attention. But it doesn't matter now because they are officially on my system. And maybe I'll end up wanting to like change my clothes. And back then, when I had the pack, I was using codes to put in to change my clothes. Apparently, you can just go to the computer and buy clothes with money from the computer, like you're ordering something online in the game. So I didn't know that either. So you know, being able to actually read through these mod pages specifically and see actually what they changed, I think is actually really nice. I want to say the mod pack changed the body of some of the NPCs. You can choose what kind of looks they had as well, I believe. I
펜스를
think I
지나면
kept
버려진
everything
주차장이
pretty
있어.
standard, but I would never know because
밀수하던
I
애들이
only
쓰던
made it to
곳인데
like
거기로 가.
the third or fourth mission
몰래 들어가.
right off the gate
경비에
of
눈을
this
돌리든
DLC.
어떻게든
And really,
해서.
I don't even want to call it the third or fourth mission because it's the same mission you start out with. It's just a different part in the mission, right? So,
Securing the perimeter.
if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this. But I mean, that's just common sense. You're seeing me play it right now. I don't know why. You know, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to be spoiled. At this point, I am cheating. You're supposed to like sneak past or quiet if you can. I wasn't really paying attention and just came in blasting. And then I ended up modding it so that I was like infinite health, infinite ammo, so on and so forth, so on and so forth, changing everything. And what you're looking at right now is the UI change. See, I'm being able to swap between my UI, change the size of it, bring it in different places. I think that's an actual really cool mod. I enjoy that a lot, and I do like the fact that the mod pack has such, you know, great UI, like the power to edit the UI. I cannot stress that enough. I don't think the Cyberpunk UI is terrible, right? I just thought it was nice to be able to have stuff that you wanted to do, so it's not like all up in your way and in your face. Clipped around, and now we're here. At one point, I was tabbing out because I went to go do some stuff. At another point, I'm sitting in the pause screen trying to get stuff to work. Another point, I'm going in and out of the game. As you can see, my titties are see-through. There was a mod that made me stealthy, so enemies couldn't even really see me. They just knew I was there and couldn't hit me, and that kind of just got me through that portion of the game. That was something else that I wanted to say. I don't really know what build I wanted to go for. I don't even know if you can respec or not. I can't remember. I know I did play the game unmodded, or if I did play it modded at one point, it wasn't so crazy to where, like, I gave myself everything, because I did have some moments like that in some of my saves that I would run, and I think that's probably why I was starting over, because I wanted to play to where I actually built a build instead of giving myself infinite skill points and leveling everything up infinitely, right? So I think this was one of those builds or one of those runs where I was trying to do the same thing, and I definitely still have it like unmodded in that regard, right? And I took away a lot of the menus and stuff from my new mod set, so it's not like I'm going to be able to do any of that stuff again. You know, I'm not going to be tempted to, or whatever the case may be. I'll just figure the game out as I go, and that's usually what I do anyway. Like, even when I do have it modded, I just figure the game out as I go. I still think like the little flying jetpacks, wall clinking, and whatnot can be pretty interesting though to try out, especially with the way cars and stuff are in the game. But I did download a mod for the cars and the driving and steering, and I believe the mod pack also has something to do the same. I've got about, we're about 18 minutes in now. It says the recording is around 33, 32 minutes, so I'll probably cut it short here. So you don't have to see the full whatever. I just want to give some commentaries so you can see what's actually going down. If you want to know what happens in the game, you know what? Here, I'll leave the rest like with no commentary playing. No, you know what? Never mind. No, I decided to change my mind. No, I'm not. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. I'll leave it like this. You know, I'll cut it up, I'll end it, and the remaining whatever will just not be there.
Okay,
you know?
relic hack first,
If you want
then
to
you
see
slap
it,
the
I can
muzzle
start
on
press
Johnny,
save
now you
and
bring
have a
some
complete
pile of
walkthrough,
scrap metal back to
gameplay,
life.
and it can just be
Serious
me
trickery.
talking,
Oh.
role playing,
Who taught you?
or I can do kind of like what I was talking about doing with my Final Fantasy video, just cutting up specific like points where I'm hitting major points in the story, so you can kind of get a gist of what's going down. If you want to run down of where I go from here, basically,
I got
we're
a
on
feeling
this little
story's
elevator.
incomplete.
I
Likely
travel all
longer,
through
more
this little
twisted.
basement and make it to like the very top of the basement. It leaves me outside. I'm back on top side, so you're in a different city, or a different section or sector of Night City.
실례인 건
Kind
아는데
of like the
물어보고 싶은 게
wastelands,
있어.
or I think maybe what people would
콤페키
call the
플라자
swamps.
일은
And
왜 맡은 거야?
you're just going through it, and you're basically saving the president. The
Had a
president's
friend.
plane goes down.
We worked together.
You gotta
It was
escort
important to
the
him.
president
And
off of the premises
he,
and savor
소중한
the entire way
사람이었구나.
you're doing it.
혹시
save her, yeah, the entire way that you are escorting her, watching her back,
not.
watching your back, she's following you, and then you guys make it. So far, I've stopped to where, like, I'm still inside the building, right? I made it out of one building, we snuck into another building, and we're inside that building right now. I think we cleared, like, 2 rooms of enemies, right? And that's where I stopped. So, my
괜찮아?
next recording will probably continue
Think
off
so.
from there. So that's pretty much everything that you'll miss. But I'll probably do like a time lapse or whatever just to kind of give you an idea of everything that's like skipped through. Alright, and that's pretty much everything that's happened.
바로 앞에 추락지점.
I don't think I have the recording for like the point where I get to now. At some point I stopped recording or something came loose, I'm not sure. This is the wall hanging technically to the client across, I think. But I had no idea how to do it. Still learning everything. The hotkeys changed in the mod pack as well. Whatever, man. You know, that's it. Peace out. Eat my balls.